Oh hey, I'm Justin Chan, the Asian man, Vancouver's most banned stand-up comedian. If you support free speech and the Eager Beavers, please donate $10 a month to Patreon. That'd be nice. Real nice. Thanks a lot.
You guys are treating me like the guy that you push to the back of the bus.
Okay.
The guy won't let, like,
Alright.
you won't serve.
What? No.
Fuck all that.
They won't service me. They have, like, signs.
They won't service you?
They won't
Well,
service
dude, you're
me.
Asian. I'm sure you can find a place to service you. People are good at that, aren't they?
Maybe a massage parlor or something.
Yeah, there we go.
Are you Asian complaining about service?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, go down to the River Rock Casino. There's like 10 people who can point you at a happy ending place. All right. Hey, everybody. My name's Adam Zed. I'm here with...
Adrian Joseph.
And Justin Chan, the Asian man.
He's got a remarkably deep voice for this show.
Oh
He just
my.
actually is. He just inserted his
This is
Yeah,
how I
it's just-
suck dick.
He's just pulled his balls down. Hi, everybody. So this is a new podcast here, done by a comedy troupe that I'm working with. I believe we're called the Eager Beavers.
Eager?
Yeah.
The Eager Beavers here in Vancouver, the most dangerous place to do comedy on the face of the earth. Just cannot seem to say anything or do anything that makes anybody happy.
I think I figured it out. I'm not going to be specific on things that I say here, but went to some open mics. They were two of the three worst comedy shows I've ever seen in Vancouver.
Okay, this is the open mic report here on the podcast.
Yes.
All right.
Not anything against the comics, just that I've seen a lot of really good comedy
Yeah.
headliners, and I've seen pretty good amateur comedy too.
Okay.
So I've seen people come up in this scene that moved to LA and whatnot. And okay, so I had a conversation with a comic, and my point of view was that we're all comics. We're all trying to be funny. It's all about us just trying to get laughs. To which he said, no, it's not about laughs.
It isn't. Not anymore.
It's about how you make people feel. And I had that same reaction.
Yeah, she had a really
and I was
weird
stunned
opinion.
Really?
Yeah, she had a big opinion.
I don't know the gender of this person, but I'm gonna say
Who knows any gender anymore? Honestly, it's whatever you want.
yeah, it's
Whatever
like-
you
they
skirts up.
had that
want.
opinion.
Them.
Like
But
Jurassic-
that's what it is. It's like look, man, comedy is about laughs and jokes. Like I get it more now that they're focusing more on feelings than, but it's like Ben Shapiro, like laughs don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's funny. That's what I was going for is a laugh, not for fucking you to feel all warm and snuggly inside.
For our audience, why don't you introduce yourself, Adrian?
There you go.
Yeah,
Let's get. We started off ripping
That's
into
true.
it.
I guess it's true.
We started
Okay.
out
I kind of wear many hats. I do hip hop. That's kind of my primary thing. You can check out my stuff, Joe Blunt, Rob Lamar on Spotify.
Rob Lamar.
A lot of
and
new
Joe
music
Blunt.
coming soon. But as far as comedy goes, I started a podcast recently with my bro and a very close friend. It's called 2.5 Brothers. Probably into maybe about 25th, 26th episode. It's going pretty well. I like it. And then I recently kind of just got back to getting to stand up after writing jokes and whatnot for years. I got back into it. Been seeing some of these open mics. And it's been interesting. Definitely the scene has changed tremendously. I'll just tell this that, okay, the first time I came and wanted to go and investigate the open mic scene, I went to where the Comedy Mix is now. It used to be Yuck Yucks. I went there. Pete Johansson, a really funny guy who moved to like fucking Scotland or something like that. Very funny guy. He was running the open mic. I just walked up to him, said, "Hey Pete, I'm trying to get on the open mic." And he was like, "You could go up tonight." And I wasn't ready to go up and whatnot, but that's how the scene was then. You could just go up, ask the guy, he'd put you on. Now, I went to a place, signed up, and then right before I was basically supposed to go on, they're like, "Yeah, you're not going on." I was like, "Oh, great. I just wasted all this time here. Like, you could have told me that earlier or whatnot." Nothing against the person or whatever. It's just that it's way different now. That I feel like it's less open. It's less about like, "Oh, you're trying to do the same thing as us?" Like, no, now it's like, "How long have you been doing it? Where are you from? What are your jokes? Why are you saying that word?" Like,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that from comics.
And also, you caught some comedy aids from Justin.
That's probably true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, the scene, I mean, I tried to do a little comeback probably last year around the same time, and I went to try some jokes, and I just felt, I mean, I don't know, man.
Where were you doing that?
I went down, that was at Benny's Bagels, before Benny's Bagels
closed down.
got shut down. It was in Kitsilano.
Yeah.
And it was just so hard to get anything, like, first of all, everybody seemed like they didn't want to talk to me. I don't know what I'd done. I don't know what my history is. So if anybody hears anything about me, I'd love to defend it or at least explain it, because it just felt like I was public enemy number one. Right. And I tried to do some material, really? And yeah, man, I don't know what the deal was.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, it does seem like there was a kind of clubhouse mentality, and if you weren't part of the club, you weren't really going to get much. Which is fine. I'm not trying to do comedy for a bunch of comics. I want to do comedy for like people that just want to laugh. I didn't really get that impression. If you were an outsider, like I went up with an objective thing. I saw people that guy killed, dude. His stuff about how he looks like, and then he just had a list of really funny shit that he looked like. That was the only thing in the night that really made me belly laugh.
The Irish guy, the old
Irish guy.
Second time on his open mic.
He was good. He had some very dark, kind of subtle jokes, and that's kind of one thing too that I've noticed is just like I'm a joke guy. I like written jokes, like set up, punchline, boom, tag.
I'm a delivery guy.
A lot of people just kind of meander, and I mean maybe they're trying out their bits. Like if I see their golden boy bits, like they're great, but it just seems like if it is this kind of feeling thing, I feel like that you don't have to cut your teeth as much, so you can just go up and like, it's good to have a fostering environment, but also like, hey man, that's not a great joke. Like you should improve that. There's nothing wrong with saying that to your friend who's a comic. Like that's a fostering, building environment, right?
But then
like,
afterwards, you guys have to spend time, grab a beer, you know.
Yes.
Go drive some go-karts. There has to be some activity with comedians afterwards, and I've received nothing of that.
Right.
I think everybody's broke, man. I think I mean, I'd love to have the money to go karting. I don't know.
Let's get some Hot Wheels and go around the table. That's cool too.
Yeah, there's just seems like there's less of a community, unless you're already in it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that. I mean, even going to try it out, like let's say you're not a comedian, you're not performing, but you want to work on some stuff. I've gone out to shows. I get there early, man. I get there before everybody. I get there an hour before sign-up even starts. And as soon as I get there, I sign up. Oh, no, sorry, this guy's coming in tonight. You get bumped back. Oh, sorry. Right. So I go from fucking, being the second person there to being the 15th person. Yeah. And,
you got bumped 10?
Oh, I got bumped down to like 27th, man. I don't know what the deal was, but...
Right.
Hey, man, maybe I'm not funny. Who knows? Maybe this is all just a paranoid, schizoid delusion.
No, but I think at an open mic, open mic is not a show.
It does
exist.
Mic
is just open.
This prejudice with MCs
of course.
And their clout. The MC's job is to conduct a room, to fluff everyone up, and to basically play Switzerland. That's the job of the MC.
Yeah.
Steve is a great Switzerland.
Yeah.
Okay? Johnny, I thought was a Switzerland. He's not a Switzerland. Apparently he has rules. That's for rule number 1 is no rape jokes. Rule number 2 is like no black.
There's no pedophile, and there isn't no black, but I did see no rape jokes and no pedophilia jokes. And then people went up and did those jokes.
Oh, really?
So, but then he specifically said to me, and actually kind of tried to say to me, like I was like trying to just get clarification, like, are you not allowed to say that word? He's like, no rape jokes, like it's not that hard, as he's kind of walking away. And it's like, I'm just trying to talk to you, man. I'm just trying to figure out, I want to respect your rules of that place. As I was thinking I was going to go up, I'm crossing things out. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go up and do something you tell me not to do, but then when I see somebody go up and do it, it's kind of like, so why do you have that rule? Like, that's just
strange. They had that rule specifically because some person got upset. I think somebody got upset, and then they had to...
Oh, no, I get why they have that rule, but why do you have that rule, and then it's allowable to circumvent that rule? So it's just kind of like, why do we even have these rules? Like, it's... I like the thing about the other one where you didn't have... There was no list you had to look at to do your comedy. Like, there was no censorship. And that's one thing I really think that... I don't know what the fuck is going on with comedy, but censorship of comedy is not a thing that should be going down.
And let me kind of tell everybody this. It sounds like we're bashing it a little bit, and I don't want to.
No, definitely not.
Because it's not just And a lot of, I mean, rape jokes, pedophilia jokes, there's an ocean of funny that has nothing to do with those things. And I agree with that.
Of
right?
course.
And
like
so
raping dead black babies.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
Because they're dead. I
Equal
don't know if they're.
opportunity.
I don't know if they're dead. Does it count as necrophilia or not?
But what I'm saying
rape
is
or
that
not. They
like
can't
not
100%.
even like just stuff that's kind of iffy. Like
Yeah.
even like
On the border.
even stuff about death, even
Yeah.
stuff like anything about race at all.
Yeah.
Anything about race.
Right.
If that is out of limits. Like it's
Yeah.
really much more than we're letting you know. It's not really like just like 'cause I don't have a rape joke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a pedophilia joke in my routine.
I mean, honestly, I technically don't either.
Yeah.
I have one. That joke isn't even a rape joke. It's all premised on, like silencing the room with a absurd question, and then it has an even more absurd answer. And then the other one is just, I literally say I hate rape. Right, but I was, if they said none of this word, I wasn't going to go up and do it. But then I was just kind of like, to see somebody go up and do it, and then to have discussions afterwards, and people are like, but he's allowed to, you're not. Like, that doesn't sit right with me.
It's
called a dual standard, and they have this kind of fake meritocracy.
Exactly.
That they want you to clock in 3 years and headline a few times before you can say anything dirty.
I don't fuck with that mentality at all.
Well, does it work? Does it not work? That is the question. And oftentimes, it's just you have these hack comics, right, who's been on the scene forever.
I am not going to throw blocks at glass houses because that's not my.
I don't know. Glass houses are nice and expensive. They look pretty.
In Vancouver, a gazebo will net you like $3 million. Okay. So
what I was trying to get at is that I had a hypothesis. Why am I the only person who even dares to say crazy, stupid, and do ridiculous things like run around half naked and blah 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 to porn magazines and people? And I think that's ridiculously funny. Fucking Bobby Lee, fucking playing with his boobies, funny.
Right. Yeah.
And that fearlessness is a danger to them. They are scared people, and they're scared of people who have no fear.
Well, it's just that you're different,
Yeah.
and they are scared. I mean, look, people are going to be kind of weary of something that's different from what they usually are. I get that.
I understand that completely, but the big hypothesis is either everybody on the scene sucks, or
that's not
the
true.
fear,
Which can't be true.
Yeah.
which can be true.
It's
There's
not
something
true.
in
That's
there's
not-
something in our water.
That's
There's
not
something
true.
in our water that's
Just-
making us all like
No, that's
it's
neither of those
it's making
things
us all
are true.
gay like the lizards.
Justin is the Eddie Bravo of the podcast.
There's something in the water, and all people north of Seattle and above are going gay because of the water.
What are they putting in those lattes?
Yeah. No,
It's in the-
it's
either
the
it's in the
pot.
water
it's
or-
the pot. It's making us all have be female.
No
It's-
chance.
But it's either that, or you come up with a hypothesis. It's a theory,
It's
and
not.
then we have to test it. Or is the fear of the environment?
It's not. It's like a systems theory. It's not one thing. There's all these dynamics going on.
I think it's mostly fear.
It's not.
People are
mostly
terrified of saying
It
stuff.
is, but it's also they like having a camaraderie in their scene of like. And there's also the woke aspect of it. They kind of do woke comedy to a degree, right?
Yeah, that's what.
To
that's
see
what,
a man bring up toxic masculinity on stage and not do it in a clever turnaround way, I'm just like, that's very strange.
That's another thing that's made me cringe going. I mean, I just stopped going, man. Like I just wasn't having a good time. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my
Yeah.
own my own insecurities or whatever. But it came to a point where I was just like, I want to crawl out of my fucking skin because man, there's a lot of man bashing.
Yeah.
In
From
Vancouver.
supposed men.
From men themselves, and it just feels kind of weird because like. It feels like a fight that nobody needs you for. You know what I mean? Like, there's more than enough women and other that can make fun of men. Like, make fun of things from your profession. Well, I don't know. I want to include everybody. I'm inclusive. I'm
I
inclusive.
respect that. He's a broadcaster.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to make sure everybody. I'm
He's
not
not just an Asian man like you.
Yeah. So I feel like everybody should be included, but. Yeah, man, it feels weird.
Yeah,
I don't know. Even
for
as a
sure,
man,
for sure.
I remember distinctly. I had to get a leather jacket for Halloween, and I walked into this leather store, and there was the guy behind the camera, and there was two I don't know, let's see, girls that like wearing leather jackets.
Okay.
You know, like motorcycle jackets. You know, like with the colored hair. You know, the alternative girls.
Yeah.
That, you know, aren't showing up the Suicide Girls magazine,
Right.
but, you know, they're right there, right?
Yeah.
Let's say.
Okay.
And there is so much tension. I remember walking in there, and I just felt like that Hitler had fucking walked out behind me, like, oh, is this the nice laser? Like, I felt like that had happened, and that tension I described to, you know, being a dude and coming to these comedy shows now.
Yeah.
That you just feel like you're unwanted. Like it's just, and
which is okay. I don't mind that, but it's just
They're terrified to come.
it's not how it used to be. I think. Like I lived in Vancouver for over a decade, and I watched like Decker come up, Deb DiGiovanni. I watched this girl. I think her name's Amanda Brooke Perrin. She moved to LA. Like I watched all.
Oh
of them.
yeah, she's doing great.
I watched all of them come up, right? Even Graham Clark to a degree, Phil Hanley. They were the like class, and Phil Hanley and like Pete Johansson and them. Pete Johansson was kind of the vet, but like Phil Hanley was really cool and nice to me. And like honestly, I haven't had very many interactions with comics aside from the ones that you've introduced me to. Fucking Draper, Sammer, Liz, Lizzie Stan, like all them, and like Zed, like very cool. But I haven't had great. I mean, I did have a conversation with one of these kind of people that's thick in it, and you know they're, I guess you know the feelings are the big kind of thing about it, but. And it was fine. Like I appreciate having conversations with people. I want to. I'm trying to understand. I'm not trying to just be like, you guys are gay. Like I'm trying to just understand what's happening with this scene. I love comedy, and if you could make that if you can make a fucking perfect toxic masculinity joke that makes me laugh, like I'm not like nobody should tell those jokes. I'm like just do it well, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I'm confused the thing I'm confused of is I'm confused what toxic masculinity is.
Right.
Because I get heard that thrown around so much. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm a dude, but I also like, I don't know, like I don't go cut down trees or anything, but I don't know, like there are times where I've had a man up where you know some guy's been being a jerk and nobody steps up, and so somebody has to be like, hey dude, you need to shut the
time
fuck
for this
up.
is over.
Yeah, you're done with this.
Of course.
So like, what is that bad? Is that my masculinity being taught? What's the difference?
It just seems very selective. It's like you don't like the things about when a man is having these characteristics that are antagonistic to you in the moment, but you like that same behavior when it's beneficial to you. So it's like, it's just such a dumb thing to say. It really is, because it's also like, okay, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So isn't there toxic femininity as well? Like there is, of course, and I think we're seeing some of that like lay out with some of the new wave feminists, right? Now you have like feminists like Christina Hoff Sommers who are the old school style, and they're like, these new people, what are they doing? Right? So there is even division within that.
Well, the difference between like traditional feminists or the new what's that
Third wave
intersectional feminists.
Intersectional.
One of them
couch.
just just picked up by the cops or got warned by the cops because she said that like a woman. I don't know. I know we're gonna go into this too. I don't know if anybody followed this article in which a trans woman, very very good athlete, had beaten all of the female records in Idaho.
Yeah.
Also a female gymnast in Australia.
Player,
weightlifting.
like a weightlifter. Yeah.
About the female, the transgendered wrestler.
Yeah.
In high school, won the NCAA Girls League.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't know. See, this is the insanity that makes me look. That to me, that idea is like the edge to me.
Of course.
Like where I look
Of
over and it's
course.
just oblivion, and
Of
I'm just like, well,
course.
what the fuck? Like, and maybe that's where my age is.
It's a weird turning point.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a very simple fix. You just have a transgendered league. It'd be awesome. I'd watch it.
Of course.
But how?
You'd
but
fucking
then,
own it. It'd be called Changender.
No.
You just so much. You motherfucker. I have a knock joke. Knock.
Knock knock. Who's there?
Justina
who?
Justina Tran.
I thought Justina who might be your
You
distant
stole my
cousin.
joke. I was gonna say it.
Yeah,
You
but
took it out of my
I
mind.
I
You
made
and
a
your-
more clever
you
joke
and your
sooner.
telekinetic fucking just been quiet the whole time. Like I got the
No, but I agree.
I got
That-
this knock joke.
I don't know.
They'll be done talking. I got this joke. You motherfucker.
It's getting
Just to pull it out of my
it
mind.
is getting to
You
this
and your,
weird spot
yeah.
where I mean, even now you have dissension between feminists. See, it's like first they were all on the same side, and then it's like, well, wait. Then transgender women, like men that transitioned, they want to date women, and then they don't date women, and they say the lesbians are like, we don't want to date you. We want to date women. We want to date biologically born women with tasty vaginas. Like that.
We all hunger for.
And then they want to try to have this thing where it's like, well, you're transphobic. If you're a man who doesn't want to date a transgender woman, you're transphobic. If you're a lesbian who doesn't want to date a transgender,
you're not transphobic. You just don't want to come in that other person.
I just don't like
and
the
you
taste
don't want
of cum.
and you don't want their cum on you. Maybe.
No, I get it.
It's
could be
not
that
good.
simple.
I've tasted mine once, and I still remember the day.
But I just
It's
hear.
like snotty, isn't it?
This is how you know comedians are degenerates, because I listen to a lot of podcasts with scientists, everybody, actors, whoever. The only people that talk about tasting their own cum, comedians.
Now, I have a question. Well, what's your cum rag?
Huh?
Everyone's got like a different cum rag. Like some people use like banana peels. Some
Is that an
people
Asian
use
thing?
a sock.
What the
That
fuck
is so
are you
Asian
talking
that
about?
isn't even.
This dude in Reddit who had a cum jar,
Yeah. He just
and he
told me.
lost his cum jar. He finds it like a year later behind the radiator.
Oh Jesus!
I know, dude. That's funny because actually, no, it's true. Because I saw those posters on the
So
fucking
gross.
on the side,
Like
on
the
sidewalk.
fluids separated
cum
in 3
jar.
layers.
What?
Like 3 separate different
Layers?
colored layers.
Just like a lasagna.
Just like fermented jar.
That's just the power bar of people's dreams. You're like an ultra athlete. You're like, yeah, just give it to me, pure protein.
That is protein.
There you go.
Yeah. No, but I feel like it is getting to a wacky point. Now even, okay, I watched one video with the cute girl who's a lesbian. She was in Ellen Page.
Yeah. She's in that show that you recommended.
Yeah.
Is she on it? Okay.
You can buy it on my
I
argument.
know that.
So we'll talk about that in a second. I just want to bring this up because it's like, so there was that Jussie Smalley. I don't know, maybe it's Jesse Smollett or whatever.
The
guy who said he got beat up by a bunch of white people and he didn't. So I watched this clip of her on like Letterman or Conan or something, and she was like getting really emotional and saying like, this is fucked up and people are beating minorities, and she's getting all emotional. But it's like, you're getting emotional about something that is fictional. So that didn't even happen.
Yeah, you know what? I understand that. And everybody's like dumping on her now. And first of all, not dumping on her, but bring it up. But like, first of all, the news media, same as the MAGA hat kid, remember the drum player?
Yeah.
I sat back on that one. I think this seems like a test to me to be a little bit of the tinfoil hat guy. Because like, look at how pissed off they got us in like a day. Even when that came up, you can fall. I was talking to these guys and I was like, dude, you're getting upset at a kid?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, fuck that kid. I was like really a kid? It's a child, and you're fucking freaking out. And then the next day they go, "Oh, it was all fake," and I was like, "Yes, Facebook win." But I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's getting to this point. Aziz Ansari I saw recently. I saw that before I saw all these fucking terrible comedy shows. I saw 2 great comedy shows. One better than the other just because it was Dave Attell, and like Dave Attell just murdered for an hour. He had Morgan Murphy. I'd never seen her, but she's a really good writer. Had some great. She was a perfect example of how you can watch somebody who you disagree with on a lot of things. Intellectually or ideologically, but she had some amazing jokes about that she's pro-abortion, like all this kind of stuff, right? And then Louis Katz also really had some great stuff too. But I saw Aziz Ansari the next night, and Phil Hanley, actually local guy we mentioned before, he opened up, did great. Aziz had this whole bit where he's like, yeah, did you guys, he's talking about social justice, all this kind of stuff that happened, and he had his little Me Too-ish thing, right?
that was weird.
Exactly.
If you know about that.
Yeah, it was not a thing. That it was an overblown thing that he kind of probably saw, oh, this can happen anyway.
He didn't handle it the best, but sometimes you just
I
think
bet.
you got that, you got it, she's ready to go, and she wasn't ready to go.
So he had this bit where he's like, but did you guys hear about that? I'm sorry to say this bit, but I have to do it for the point. He basically has this bit where he's like, did you guys see hear about the story with this pizza that with the pepperonis were arranged in a swastika? And he's like, and then other people were like, no, it just looks like a pepperoni pizza. Like, why are people getting mad, right? He's like, by round of applause, how many people thought it looked like a swastika? All these people clap. He's like, how many people thought it didn't look like it was just nothing? A bunch of people clap. He's like, yeah. Says some more stuff. He's like, you know what's really fucked up? Is I just made that up. All you fucking people are the problem. You're the ones getting mad about nothing. And I was like, that is a fucking brilliant bit. And it's more of a social thing where it's like, look at how fucking how much of babies and weirdos and McCarthyism fucking people we become, where you're just like, that's bad, we gotta get him right away. Oh, that was a thing? Fuck, I'm gonna delete my post.
Yeah, but the thing is that people don't really think what the effect. I don't like using the word victim, but let's say the targets of these attacks.
Right.
When you're getting attacked in person, when you're getting attacked in your private life, in your public life, when people around you get attacked because of the things you may or may have not done.
Yeah.
And McCarthyism was terrible. You know, when you're a communist, your neighbors hated you, everyone hated you.
Not you when you're a communist, when you're suspected of
you might be sent to like prison maybe for a little while for being a communist and whatnot.
You just get blacklisted.
Right now, it's on steroids because of all of this social media. It's all so pumped up.
Well, here's a funny
and
thing.
It just soaks you right in.
Here's a funny thing, and food for thought with the listeners. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he had a guest on, and a lot of people, all this like diminishing kind of ways of living, disappearing, all of these jobs disappearing, is the robots that are taking our jobs. And I find that something that nobody ever brings up.
Yeah.
Other than the Asian POTUS, that might be Andrew Yang.
I don't know if you guys saw Interstellar, but they're going for comedy. They're coming for comedians soon. No, but yeah, it's true to a degree. I mean, I do think a lot of jobs will go away. I've had a lot of jobs. I've worked in restaurants. I do landscaping. Like, there are jobs that you're not going to be able to get that human touch with.
Yeah.
But
like the human, except for hand jobs and except for fucking now.
It's like only $4. It's just like, how could I not?
Yeah, right.
Have you guys heard of the new love dolls that are coming out of Japan? You know.
They have a club here.
Yeah,
there's
dude,
a fucking club here.
You mean like
investigate.
a silicon brothel?
Yes.
Who's paying?
I don't know. It's probably I don't know how much it is. How much is it? How much for a robot? What's the most you'd pay, and what's the least you'd pay for a robot prostitute?
Robot prostitute
is it self-warming is number one.
Oh, dude, it's the real deal. Like, except I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really move, but like. If you you've seen the videos, you've seen how
well the thing is that I'm a bit of a artificial pussy expert.
Yeah.
I used to own a Tenga, which is like the most scientifically. It's like the Porsche.
Is that a real thing? I've never heard of
it's like a Japanese engineered.
Sounds.
Every
Japanese.
part of it has like a different function and cupping and sucking and.
Okay.
Why
your
the fuck? Well, that would just ruin me. Why would you ever go back to women then? Like, what would be the point?
Well, first of all,
other than having to clean it.
You gotta clean it.
Yeah, right. There you go.
And I mean, you gotta spray paint it every once in a while. You get bored.
It opens up like a fan, so you can wash it out. The second part is like you gotta buy your own lube, so you can't like. It's not self-lubricating.
Of course not. What the fuck? It would just have an infinite amount of lube.
Third
you have
of
to
all,
replace it with these bottles. That's how they get you
like,
with the bottles.
the
containers are $100 each.
Sometimes
like
after you have sex with a girl,
coffee
you fall asleep, right? And you hug her. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like
you
with
call
a
it
Tenga,
her. That's fucking. Oh, okay.
You call it him, her, other. It's up to you. When you're fucking the Tenga.
Wait, is it called Tenga?
Oh yeah, it's called a Tenga. It's Japanese. Now,
Okay,
I'm serious.
Tenga.
Tenga is a role
Tenga.
pocket pussies. I had a
That's a cute-
podcast.
Tanya, no,
about
that's too
pocket
weird. That's a
pussies.
real name. Tenga.
But the thing about the Tenga also is like you wake up and you're not holding on to anybody. You just got this fucking thing covering your dick.
Oh, you like fall
You just
asleep.
wake up, you fall asleep,
with it
you
on.
wake up. There's a fucking flashlight
infections.
just plugged in. Oh, and then there's another thing. You gotta wash it out.
Of course.
Really.
I hope you do.
I don't know. Sometimes
I wash my hands.
you could get lazy.
So how did you do it? Like dishwasher or washing machine?
Oh, you can get like this antibacterial stuff.
Yeah, but what do
and
you do?
They have this.
No, you can use dial,
nice.
or you can use like. Some,
Never
like,
use soap because soap is bad for silicon.
dish
That makes it
dish
look
soap
old.
is okay though, right?
No.
I don't know.
Water, just clean water.
But the most you pay for Roa, like I don't know. I mean,
I do $100 bucks. $100, and probably the most I'd be is like $300. If it was really good, $300. But like to try it, I'd pay $100.
I don't know why I'm
Oh
just
my
picturing
God.
like a.
You just get yourself a Tenga. It's $100 and use it again and again and again and again.
The thing is if it disappeared afterwards, I'd buy one. But the fact is having it like in my house afterwards, like I just don't like.
It's like on Rick and Morty, the Migas or whatever.
Yeah.
This is just I'm gone. I perp
Okay,
on
so
purpose.
these things got the Tenga eggs. They look like eggs. You get them like by the dozen or half dozen. They're like egg-shaped pocket pussies.
Disposable.
So you can just
And it stretches like a giant condom.
What?
Oh yeah, they're great.
That's crazy.
You fuck it twice, you throw it away.
Have you guys watched Westworld at all?
I wouldn't watch it with him. I wouldn't watch
Okay.
it with Justin.
Yeah.
He's a fucking.
Because I was just I don't know why I was picturing a very like Rosie from Jetsons robot, but then I was like, wait, if it was perfected and they looked perfect,
That's what I mean,
yes,
that's what I
of
mean.
course,
Yeah,
right?
but they're not ready right now.
Yeah,
right now
$100
they
No,
look
no,
like
they are. They are. They're ready now.
no,
I
they're
can
not
show
ready.
you. I can
They
show
are
you the
not
fucking,
ready now.
He
Yes,
can show
they
you
can.
video
Fuck, I
on
can
his
show
phone
you. Right,
that
I've got
he
them
shot.
all downloaded.
Not ready.
Yeah, no.
Not like Westworld ready.
Not Westworld.
Get
That's a
that.
TV
No,
show.
dude,
right?
if they were Westworld ready, well, we would fuck them first, and then we would let them walk around.
Just see who they fuck.
yeah, right? Who do you pick?
Just imagine if robot
But
girls
so
became
Ellen
more
Page
real
is
than-
on this
Yeah.
new show
All right. bring it
called
around.
I don't know the title, but these guys watched. No, but what is the show
Umbrella
about?
Academy.
And
It's-
actually haven't seen it. So what is it about?
It's I'm not gonna do any spoilers.
Just a base of the line.
Yeah, it's something bring like the oh, this isn't the first. This is kind of the lead of the story.
something with like a girl has a bunch of children or something.
In
Like that.
1989,
So 1988 or 89, 88 or 89.
like 72 odd ladies just got pregnant all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a
One
sudden they got
day
pregnant.
they had like a miraculous birth, like Jeebus Christ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
This
so then
crazy
they,
billionaire.
which is funny because
Yeah.
the series you brought up Jesus Christ, and it's funny because from the original show he tried to go really deep. The lead singer of My Chemical Romance or whoever wrote this second thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's he's a lead singer of a
Okay,
band.
okay.
I should do more research.
Next episode.
But yeah,
saw him
right.
in the documentary.
Keep watching. We'll keep on the
We'll
review
tell
of the
you
same
who.
show.
In case you haven't Googled it by now.
Yeah, right. And so he takes 7 of them in and kind of trains them to be like his own X-Men. So it's kind of
Okay.
like he's like Professor X.
Why? These kids have powers,
all
or the
have
people
powers,
who
yeah.
had the kids have powers?
All the kids have powers.
No, a lot of the people. I think a lot of the people died. A lot of the women died
okay.
giving birth. And so no, there's like 43. There's
And
like
what's an
43
example
children.
of some of their powers?
One's name is Rumor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, I heard a rumor you shot your friend in the foot,
And
then
it
this guy
happens.
just like shoots himself in the
Oh.
foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
control people.
But I'm
That
on
sounds
I did
cool.
research on these characters because I'm always interested in like what characters' powers because I'm a nerd. And she can make things happen to you that like are almost super. Like if she was just like, I heard your face exploded, your face would just explode.
Like instantly, or
Yeah. So it's
Whoa.
not just a command. It also like
Yes,
forces.
yes.
She like forces
It
bodies.
just
to do-
manipulates matter basically to her whim. Like,
but you have to be. I don't know. I don't think she can do it to like a squirrel. Be like, hey.
hey, I heard this squirrel fucked you in the ass.
But yeah, no, it was pretty good. I watched the whole series and
really?
the one on Netflix.
Now, have you ever seen? That sounds pretty cool. I like shows like this, but they either fall off or they're not. Did you ever watch Heroes?
Yeah.
No.
That
no, I didn't.
that was a time eater though. Like Lost,
It was.
you know.
It was.
I ate a
But
lot
Heroes
of
was
that.
cool. I love
Yeah.
the writing of new powers. It's like, fuck, you come up with like the main base characters, and then you're always so curious as a viewer, and probably as a writer too. You're just like, what is an original power I can come up with, right? Like, but it's cool to see that lived out on these shows that aren't Spider-Man, just Iron Man, because you're used to those ones, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's fucking cool
Yeah, no,
as fuck.
they have weird powers.
Give me another one.
One of them can like talk to one's like can talk to the dead, and like so that one's kind of like
That's cool.
Yeah,
and
I'll
he
let
can,
it,
like-
I can also
he
do
can,
a
like-
lot
Yeah,
of drugs.
information based.
Yeah, he can kind of talk to the dead, and
Yeah.
his brother Ben, who dies pretty at the very
Right, right.
first episode. He
Spoilers.
can like communicate with him, but he can only communicate with the dead when he's not fucked up, and he's fucked up a lot. He's kind of like the party
Right.
Perma-stud.
guy. Yeah, and
Okay.
drug addict. He's kind of like bisexual too.
Right.
He like, and so he's sort of he is bisexual. So he's sort of just like this kind of like you
Mess.
know, candy kid that
Hot
is
mess.
Party
cheap.
bottom and top, wherever you need me.
Yeah, whatever. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice
Sounds
because
cool.
it's a smaller series. So unlike Punisher or Daredevil or Iron Fist or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones, I don't know. They felt like they didn't. They feel like it's got an end, or it feels like they've got the whole story together. That
But
it's
it wasn't
not.
the series finale. It wasn't like a
No,
one-off
it was
season
just the
kind of
first.
thing.
It was
Okay.
just the first
Okay.
season. So who knows? I mean, it's all their weird. How many watched it?
That sounds
Netflix
cool.
will look
Actually.
at that and be like,
I'll
"Eh,
probably
freaking-"
check that out.
It's got like an 8.3, 8.7 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good.
I
It's-
hear cool things about Sense8. Do you see that?
What's that?
Sense8.
one?
I've
So
heard of
that's Lana and the Wachowski sisters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Sense8 is like 8 individuals, and they all have like a telekinetic link for some odd
Yeah, I
reason.
heard about this.
And they
Oh,
can
okay.
basically absorb consciousness from 3 or 4 of them at a given time. So one guy just starts speaking Chinese or knows kung fu or
has multiple people's
yeah,
information.
and you have multiple emotions. And apparently that was like a huge show that they just canceled, but they were given like 1 short season to.
That's the thing about these shows. Like I used to watch this show called.
I hear great things about that.
What was this show called? Alphas. And it was on
Alphas.
Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of the same thing. Like all these people just had powers, but it was cool. Like this kind of hot girl, she could like control your mind, manipulate you, just tell you to do something and you do it. Like one guy could like rev himself up to be super tough. The other kid could see electric signals and shit. It was like it was interesting to see the difference of how they approach it. They were all had their own like little human. They tried to make the more human side of like explore those stories more. It was like kind of less about their powers. But just as another show that's not about
there's a really bad if you have a Sony PlayStation, you can watch a show called Powers, and it's about this like
kid named Screech,
big like tough cop, and he talks like this, and he looks like Max Payne almost, like he looks like a serious cop.
Right.
And the story is that he used to have a lot of powers, and then Michael Madsen, who's also a superhero in this show, took away his powers, but he defeated Michael Madsen, and so the world's kind of safe. Like a bunch of people have powers. He works in the like X division of the police, even though it's like at the police. I don't know. It's really funny because it looks like they made it on like $5.
Really,
and it's got kind of that Japanese kind of ness to it, but it's made in America, so it's all English speaker. It's really weird. I think you can.
I have a question.
Buy all those series.
Has there ever been a TV show where the lead is just it's hard, just tough, doesn't complain, doesn't really talk much, just
yeah, they used to do
it's
that.
like
Clint Eastwood.
That's what Wolverine is, man.
Yeah, but he bitches a lot. I got no wife. She got killed in Japan. Blah 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 blah. I dig this redhead. She can do me. She can blow me up. He's got a lot of weird drama. I can't kill myself.
You ever
Trying
seen
all the
Crank?
time.
I think Wolverine is
But-
a tragic hero.
But we don't have a stoic hero as a TV show character. Just like a hard cowboy period.
Oh, they tried that actually. That would have been with the Inhumans. The main character in the Inhumans was the guy that can't talk. I forget his name.
Yeah, but
he was stoic, and that show only lasted like 6 episodes. They tried to dump that show they showed the first episode and everybody was like and then they're like, okay, fuck it, just cancel it. They're like, oh no, we have like 6 more episodes. And they're just like, oh fuck, I don't know, like pull out. And they released like 2 more episodes and then like 3 more went to streaming or something, but like it was like a studio just like, I don't know, like afraid to release it because it was
these shows
so bad.
just like rise and fall off so quick. It's
yeah,
like
that's their.
But
so
what I'm
cheap.
thinking about is like a Ron Swanson show, just tougher. It just doesn't really exist. Maybe like a western.
Name a
back
character.
Maybe like maybe like back in the 70s and 60s, or a western TV show.
Yeah,
like Maverick or
Gunsmoke.
whatnot.
well,
but-
like Dirty Harry and shit, right?
But that's like a movie, like a
So
serial.
that's what John Wick is. John
Yeah,
Wick
yeah,
is
yeah.
like
Yeah.
our
The tough
Dirty
guy.
Harry.
But he's got one. We only watch him like a story, like
mean
the
the
Punisher.
show, the whole
He
show.
doesn't have any moody personality disorder. Just a hard dude.
Because then you can't. They probably wouldn't do it because there always has to be this thing. Yeah, I remember even.
No, like Kane from Kung Fu. There you go.
Right. Just not giving a fuck always.
well, I
Yeah,
think
period.
that if you have someone that stoic, it's hard to identify
connect,
with. Yeah, right. It's hard to identify.
Like
with
I remember hearing
so.
this thing about villains and how it's like you can't just have a villain who's just like, I'm crazy, I kill people all the time for no reason. It's like they show a reason because you have to even sympathize with the villain to a degree to see why that guy's doing that. Did you watch Glass? I heard that.
No, I
Oh,
have
yes.
not seen
I
Glass.
want to see that though. Did you watch Split?
No, that's one I wanted to find.
Me
I know,
too.
fuck.
The only one I've seen of it is Unbreakable, but then people were like, "Well, Unbreakable is connected to Split, and now then this Glass, it's all."
I heard
right?
Glass was horrible.
I
Really?
did hear that. Yeah,
heard
that's why I
bad
asked.
things about it. Yeah, I probably have to look into that. Yeah, no, I'm after the last Airbender, M. Night Shyamalan, just, I don't know, man. I'm
Does
just
not
like,
exist to you.
just doesn't, and then The Happening, if you've seen that movie.
I tapped out with him
That movie
after
was-
like
that movie
Signs
was
of the
amazing.
Village. I was out.
With Zoe Deschanel and her deer face.
Zoe Deschanel,
Zoe
at that moment in time,
Deschanel,
to
yeah.
me, was the most beautiful movie.
Oh, 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
Oh my
Jesus.
god.
For some reason, her and Amanda.
Justin Chan
what did
Pulls
she-
out a hot
what
dog.
did she get?
has just pulled out his hot dog.
Wanna suck my
And
hot dog?
Oh my
You
god.
can hear him unraveling it.
Yeah. Who walks around with a fucking hot
Yeah,
dog?
I'm
How
really.
much of a man are you that you're just like, oh, I'll bring
Yeah.
baseball with me?
Yeah.
Like,
Bring baseball.
that's what hot dogs are. Hot dogs
I
are
got a
baseball food.
roast right there. I'm not taking your hot dog that you just pulled out of. Like, I don't even know where you pulled that out of.
Well, fine.
Where you been living, Justin? Where you been living?
I don't know how you got that. How did you acquire that hot dog?
Yeah.
I really,
Yeah,
I
where
have
did-
to know the story now. Like,
I can't tell you about the prestige of it. You know, it's a trek.
You stole a hot dog?
yeah.
All right, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. We sort of, when we talked about this as we were getting set up, but we didn't really dig into it. The JFL,
Oh yeah.
Canada laughs, our opinions. I wouldn't say that we're all performing comedians, but
No,
we're
no.
lovers of comedy.
Of course. Of
you
course.
know, and money. We love both.
Uh huh. And I want comedians to be successful, of course.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's definitely people are. I mean, it just happened, so people are definitely going to be understandably kind of bitter about it. But
So let's explain to the people that don't know what
I
happened.
know very little.
What
I've
happened.
got-
Okay, I will then because
Yes.
I haven't been paying
You have.
attention. So JFL merged with, I believe they had a little bit of a merger or a trading of spit when it
Yeah.
comes to Sirius XM Radio, who had Canada Laughs or
Mhm.
whatever. And that was an all Canadian channel that had
Just
Canadian
played comedy bits.
just playing bits. And so the great thing about that is if you're a comedian, you get your bits played on that, and they play with your bits, and they give you some money.
Yeah, you got residuals from it. Right?
Yeah, and
I like that
which in
playing my
Canada
bits
is
anyway.
different than America. It's not nearly as like in Canada. A lot of the times you get buyouts where it's just like, I'm taking it all, and then
Right.
you get nothing, and you never hear from it again.
Right.
In America, it's a little bit harder to do that. I'm under the impression.
Hmm.
And so Howie Mandel, who is one of the biggest
Names.
kind of JFL ties, I guess, most.
I didn't know he was
camera-worthy.
so tied to it, but
Neither did
apparently he
I.
is. Yeah.
I thought he was doing America Can Fuck a Pig or
Deal or
whatever.
no deal, making deals. Yeah. Evidently he is.
That show just makes me just as anxiety. It's just
I-
that's the most
I've seen it a
anxiety because
couple
there's
times.
absolutely nothing. Like that show is nothing. You're picking numbers. Like
Yeah.
if you know numbers, you can play that show. It is. So all you're doing is waiting, and you're just like, oh, and some like middle of America. Here's another thing too about America. You only get 40% of what you win on game shows.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
So just imagine that 40. Yeah. So like if you win on the Price is Right or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you have to pay that 40% tax. Like if I give you a boat, right, and it's
Yeah.
10,000, you win a boat for $10,000, you need to pay. I'm under the impression
Right.
44 grand of that
Right.
to the government.
Just
He
to
owns
get
that
the boat.
Just to get the boat.
Right.
So if you win the $112,000, Price is Right, fucking 30th anniversary, the tax man is right stage left, ready to make sure that
Right.
you can pay
Yeah.
for it, and you got to pay for it all. I had an aunt that had done it, and she's Canadian,
Yeah.
and in Canada we have no price tax. I think you have to put it maybe as part of your income, but
Right.
you don't really have a price tax.
Right.
And she was like, all right, well, fucking whatever. Like, sweet, I won, but
Yeah.
it would cost her like $11,000 to get her prizes.
That's
so
fucking
like,
crazy.
it's really weird. So fuck, how did I get to that?
The lottery.
Yeah, okay, sorry, residuals. And so a lot of comedians are upset because this is, for touring comedians, you've got what you can pull in, as you show, and then, recordings of said shows can then get you money from infinity and beyond. And a lot of these comedians are losing, they don't live on much, to be honest with you, man.
Right,
Like, you know what I
right.
mean? If you are just traveling around being a comedy, living in a
Of course.
shitbag apartment, you don't live on much. So
Yeah.
$5,000 or $4,000 or $2,000 or $1,000 out of your pocket every year is sad. It's sadder, I feel, for the art form of comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Seems like nobody has like that's
just seems everybody's taking
Canada
it-
off of Canadian satellite radio.
Yeah, it's like everybody's taking it really personally because it's affecting their bottom line, which I get it, but there's something to be said of like you love comedy, you do it because you love it, and
Yeah.
you're trying to make money off it, make your career out of it, for sure. But it is, you got to understand it's a luxury, right? I feel like you got to.
I mean, if you're a full-time comedian,
If you're a
I
full-time
think
comedian,
you're-
it's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you're like, kind of, you have this passive income that you're just kind of, or especially if you aren't really that affected by it, like you don't have any bits on there, but just that the potential is there that you could have and all that stuff. Now that potential isn't there anymore. But I mean, look, when DVDs came out, it really pissed off the fucking guys who had CDs. When CDs came out, it really pissed off the people who had fucking VHS. And VHS pissed off the fucking beta people. It's like, things change, right? I agree with your point is that, like, yeah, it's shitty that I used to listen to that when I had XM. That's how I found out about a lot of comedians, right? I wouldn't listen to the Canadian station so much because I fucking would see them here and shit, but that's how you find out about a lot of comedy, and you listen to it, and there is something kind of nice of, like, this guy's kind of getting something out of this right now. So it is kind of shitty, but I do also get the point of, like, JFL is going to just promote their comedians, because the world has become so much like that. Like, they all recognize that there's just money in everything, and that you can constantly be losing money if you're not promoting your own shit. Now they calculated it all with fucking all these algorithms and bullshit. When you add fucking business to art, it's gonna corrupt it a little bit, right? Like, but if you love that art, you just find a way to make it happen, right?
Yeah, I mean I think it's sadder the fact that Canadian artists are going to be now marginalized in their own country, because I believe Serious Canada is different than Serious America. That's what I was realizing.
I think it's actually the best thing that's ever happened. Best thing that ever happened.
All right.
Because Canadians are soft and comedians are soft, and we gotta get hungry. Right. Getting hungry is the only way we push beyond boundaries and borders. Feeling ostracized and getting hated on and feeling poor is why we work harder to get a little bit richer. So lose some money and work some harder. If you don't have that hunger anymore, maybe you gotta question if you're a comedian or not.
Well,
it's not just about the money. The money is a lie, so we can actually do more art, and we use that as a basis, according to Stephen Pressfield in his wonderful book, The War of Art.
Well,
but what I'm saying is that always be hungry. Schwarzenegger came from fucking Austria, from a town named Graz, and he became the world's greatest bodybuilder and the most powerful governor in California history. He did it because he's hungry. He made $1 million before he won his very first Mr. Olympia. He's an Ubermensch.
He also fucked a Kennedy and his maid at the same time.
And
did some sort of weird experiment where they grew up at the same time. So maybe if he's like, if America goes to shit, I got Mexican sons, get out of here.
I am making the plot for Twins 2. But really, hunger and feeling just fucking poor is what pushes you forwards. Whether it's creatively or financially. There's a reason why I'm pursuing the Eager Beavers, because that doesn't exist. Why does Japan have such awesome fucking art? Hip-hop, music, animation? Because of the censorship, unfortunately. Because it's not socially condoned. So artistically, they have this canvas that they want to scream out at.
That's interesting.
So
maybe it will
even despite all this,
light a fire under some Canadians.
Even despite all this bullshit that's happening in Vancouver, maybe it's the right thing. So I keep on telling myself, maybe this is the greatest time, the greatest place to be doing what I'm doing. And maybe we're in the beginning of something wonderful.
It could be that. Because something could take the place of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some new company could be like, oh shit, SiriusXM just dropped the ball on this. Like, now we can pick this up, and there's a lot of people who want to hear Canadian content. So there's a potential for something to open up and take its place. So, I mean, definitely consider that. But yeah, it's like, you never know, right? There's the changing surf of, the societal...
I don't think it's going to change much, to be honest. I don't think it's going to change much. I think
it's going to get more stringent, kind of.
No,
thing?
I think what's going to happen is it's just going to silence a lot of Canadian voices. Like it's just going to get less airtime for people. Like that's the thing. It's immigration, sort of. It's kind of immigration of comedy in which we're moving
to a degree. Yeah.
I think that
big companies taking core. We're a small country. We're 33 million people. We're less than fucking California, dude.
Yeah.
So like, we can be easily destroyed, and I think this is kind of a thing that's going to destroy us.
Right.
I think this definitely is a step.
I don't know about
something wonderful,
but
climb out of the
might
ashes.
it might definitely damage things to a degree where people are less motivated to even try, which is shitty. Like, you don't want that.
What do you mean motivated to even try? won some financial success previously.
I'm
They're
saying,
making
I'm,
$4
I'm
grand
saying,
in
I'm saying the people
residuals.
who haven't even. Let's say you're some kid who's like
But
14.
what I'm saying is not just the financial.
Yeah.
It's not just the financial incentive.
Yeah.
If they weren't paying anybody, it's still
It's
a place
not.
that's broadcasting
Yeah.
Canadian comedy
Yeah.
to Canadians, and that's the thing that matters.
Yeah,
I mean, the
of
money
course.
is one thing that sucks balls. There's money. I didn't make any money off of it,
Right.
but I do have a vested interest in my fellow Canadians being able to perform and be
Yeah,
heard,
yeah.
and that's what they're taking away.
Because there's a lot of good comedy here that definitely you want to share, and it is kind of weird when things get like homogenized in that way of like it's only our comedians on here, we only promote that, and it's like because it does take away from the love of the art of like.
But if you have a will, you'll have a way.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you'd have to go from town to town to every darn radio station to promote yourself.
Right.
Imagine doing
That's true.
6 podcasts a day at 6 different radio stations. You gotta go from county to county, province to province,
No, that's true.
and do that darn run. And at night, you had to play 3-4 hours at some country bar. That was the world.
That was the world. Of the road.
40
It's true.
years
You have
ago,
to
50
do
years ago.
Radio, it's true.
And now we gotta sit in our butt and have one dude do it for us. I think we're forgetting that hard work. You know, back in the 60s and 70s, any artist, like, you're nothing unless you go on the road 12 hours a day,
Right.
every day,
And find a way to
and
make
find a way. And now we're like, oh, we're city dolls, just stay in bank. That grit, that hunger, I think we've lost it.
I get that.
That-
Because
that-
there is a
that,
mentality of.
That poor people mentality, that immigrant mentality, I think we've really might have actually lost it. I think we're all gonna fail unless we do it.
Yeah.
Let's just
But I think that some people have lost it. I think some people have always never had it. I think there's always been pussies. That's why there's still people in England. Not everybody got the fuck out of there.